Hello, here we go with chapter 3. Welcome, and this chapter is about adding fractions and subtracting fractions, and it's one that I see students struggle with a lot. So it's going to take a real commitment on your half to really get this down. If you don't already know how to do it, if you're learning it for the first time, or if it's been a long time since you've done it, uh, it takes some work. So it'll probably take us several videos to get through this. I encourage you again to take it slow, hit that pause button when you need to, and we can do this together. I'll have a couple of cool things I think in class to show you, maybe try to how to help you connect what's really going on here when we add fractions. So, well, let's get right through it, right to it here. So here are the sections. We're going to talk about least common multiples, adding in their applications. The least common multiples, by the way, you have to be able to find that in order to add them. Then we'll talk about subtraction. Then we'll get into mixed numbers, and then more applications, and then review some multiplication and division applications, and then wrap up with the order of operations. Because when we're done with this, we should have all of the operations with fractions down that we should be able to do. Remember, we've learned how to divide, we've learned how to multiply them, and all those things. So now we're going to talk about adding and subtracting. So let's get right to it then. This first vocabulary word at the bottom of page 1 in your notes, that's least common multiple. Least common multiple. The least common multiple of two numbers is the smallest number that is a multiple of both numbers. And you'll need to remember this word, and I have students get it confused with greatest common factor because it's kind of like the same thing. They're kind of related in a way. So let's break it down. Let's look at the words here. The word least, that means the smallest. Okay, so you can see the definition in the words itself. We all know what that means. Common means they both have it, right? Okay, so it's the smallest of both multiple. So it's the first multiple that they two different numbers or three numbers or four have in common, but we would do mostly two different numbers, and you might see a question or two with three there. Okay, so the smallest number that is a multiple of both. Okay, so let's take a look at this page. You've got some blanks to fill in, I believe, in your notes, which I underlined for you. It says, this is the steps, this is the how-to for you, if that's helpful for you. Here's how you find, here's one method to find the least common multiple. Okay, the first thing you do is determine, is the largest number, it says determine if the largest number is a multiple of the other. Okay, you've got more than one number, start with the largest one. If it is, then that's the least common multiple. You're done. Those are the easy ones. I hope that happens. All right. If not, in other words, if the largest number is not a multiple of all the numbers, okay, you want to check the multiples of the largest number until you get one that is a multiple of the others. And this is if you don't know what the multiple is. Like if you can do it in your head and you just see it right away, great, do it. You've got it done. So I'm going to do something a little different here. Look down at the bottom of page 2. You're on page 2 in your notes. And I am going to work out the first question there that says find the LCM of 12 and 15. I'm going to show you what I was talking about here. But I'm going to keep it on this slide just so I can refer to these steps as we go. So the first thing it says to do is determine if the largest number is a multiple of the other. If yes, then that's the least common multiple. All right, so I'm going to look at this and I'm going to ask myself, is 15, is that a multiple of 12? In other words, can 12 go into 15? Can you find a number that multiplies 12 and you get 15? Nope, you can't. All right, so that doesn't work. Unfortunately, we're going to have to move on to part 2. It says, if not, check the multiples of the largest number until you get one that is a multiple of the others. Okay, so basically what that's asking you to do is take 15 and start listing its multiples. So you've got 15, 30. And you're asking yourself, is 12 a multiple of that number? Well, 12 won't go into 30, so you keep going. The next multiple of 15 is 45, and 12 won't go into 45 because it's an odd number, you know right away. What about 60? I believe 60, 12 will go into. Let's list the multiples of 12. Multiples of 12 would be 12, 24, 36, 48, and 60. And there you have it. Therefore, 60 is the least common multiple of 12 and 15. Okay. I'm going to get out of my PowerPoint here for a minute and show you something I found. That's not it. That's not it either. I want this. This is a times table, like the one I gave you in class. Notice here the 12. See these numbers? 12, 24, 36, 48, 60. Here's 15. 15, 30, 45, 60, and there you have it. Okay, all of these numbers as you go across the page, those are multiples of the numbers in this column right here. So you can use this times table as much more than just a times table. Okay, you can find multiples and factors on here, and I encourage you to practice using that. And I'm okay if you do that. Okay, in fact, I would encourage you to do that. So that's where we are. And then the second question there was, I'm going to go on to my next slide now, I think. We already worked this one out here. And here is next question, 20, 40, and 80. Okay, step one said, check to see if the largest number is a multiple of the other two. Okay, you've got 80, you got 20, you got 40. Okay, does 40 go into 80? Yep, 40 times 2 is 80. Does 20 go into 80? It sure does. Look, 20 times 4 is 80. Okay, therefore 80 is the smallest number that all are multiples of. Forgive my bad grammar there. 80 is the smallest multiple for the first number that all three of the numbers go into. That's the least common multiple. I'm trying to connect the words. Least means smallest, common means they all go into it, and multiple, it's a multiple of those there. Okay, so you like those questions where you can just take that largest number and have it. So again, let's work out the next two here. This would be a place if you're feeling it, hit pause and work through it. I'm going to just go ahead and work straight through, but go ahead, try it and see if you can use this method. This is one method to do that and find it. So I'll just go ahead and work it out. If I list multiples of 18, I've got 18 and 36. Now I think maybe I remember seeing 36 in as a multiple of it. Remember, what I can do is I can go back here. 18, here's 18, there's 36. Let's look at 12. There it is. Alright, so that is it. It's 36. Okay, so that would be our multiple there. And since I've already got this up on my screen, let's go ahead and look at the next one. It's 8, 16, and 12. So you would list them out, starting with the largest. Here's 16. That's 16, 32, 48. I think I've seen that on the 12. Let's go to 12, 24, 36, 48. Yeah, so you got 48 is a multiple of 16. 48 is a multiple of 12. And let's look at 8. 8 times 6 is 48. There it is. It's 48. So the answer to that question is 48. There. So I lost my writing when I do that, but if you were to list them out, you would get 48 as your answer here. So hopefully that makes sense to you. And that is finding the least common multiple, a basic way to do that. And then in the next video, we will start talking about adding fractions and how we're going to use the least common multiple. See you soon.